Hello everybody, Matt here. Going back to STB review Sonic Unleashed Xbox 360 Part 1 and Sonic Unleashed Xbox 360 Part 2 and the Wii one.
Okay, now is the moment that some of you have been waiting for. It's time for my review of Sonic Unleashed. Now, if you guys have seen my 3-part series of 3D Sonic games, you might have realized that I think that Sonic titles are pretty hit and miss.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have those on anymore, or on his channel anymore, so... Well, he's now gone and redone them actually, but the original ones he doesn't have on the channel.
So, does Sonic Unleashed completely crap on those titles, or is it just another addition to the steaming pile of crap? Let's plug it in and find out. Okay, so I previously stated in my rant of Sonic Unleashed that I found the game pretty damn enjoyable, but that isn't exactly specific, so let's take a deeper look. Now, upon the announcement of the game, a lot of people viewed it with an extremely negative eye, namely because of one thing, Sonic's Warhog transformation. Even I was truly skeptical about it because it looked completely stupid. Now, as the months went by, new footage of the game became released showing Sonic off in his true glory. Then the Warhog footage was shown and my predictions were true. It's completely combat-based. In fact, upon glancing at the footage, I immediately thought of God of War, only of Sonic, in his Warhog form. Anyway, release day came and I couldn't wait to finally try this game out. I put the game inside the Xbox 360, fired the game up, and was greeted by the opening cinematic. Just looking at this video reminds me of Sonic's days of old, where it was just him versus Robotnik, or Eggman, whatever you prefer. Sonic appears to be captured, but then goes super, completely catching Eggman off guard, or so we think. Upon completely obliterating some of Eggman's bases, Super Sonic traps Eggman in a corner where he begs Sonic not to destroy him. Sonic begins smack-talking to him, giving Eggman enough time to activate a machine which traps Super Sonic and sucks the energy out of the Chaos Emeralds. It then powers up a beam that Eggman fires towards the planet. The result is the planet becoming separated into 7 pieces, awakening a creature within known as Dark Gaia. Seriously, how the hell does the planet not die from such an event? Not to mention, just how many people die when this shit happened. I mean, seriously, if Sonic Team thinks we can safely go on and think that nobody was harmed when this happened, they must have think that we were either raised with football helmets on our heads or completely oblivious to logic. Anyway, while all this is happening, Sonic undergoes a bizarre transformation, leaving him fuzzier and slightly more menacing than before. Oh look, it turns out Sonic actually has hands. The day when we actually see Sonic's feet is when Sonic Fangirls are crying enjoyment. After that, Eggman launches Sonic out of the base and lets him fall towards the Earth, expecting him to die. Of course, if Shadow the Hedgehog can survive the fall, then I'm sure Sonic can. Sonic manages to land on solid ground, though I gotta say, if he managed to land in the now exposed core of the Earth, I'd be laughing pretty damn hard. Upon regaining consciousness, Sonic finds a little critter that he landed on upon impact, who can't remember anything about himself.
Did I fall on him?
Lawsuit! Sonic feels that he was responsible for his memory loss and decides to help him. The sun rises and Sonic reverts back to his original form. So, while it's daytime, Sonic's himself. But while at night, he's the Warhog. While taking a stroll around the town, Sonic decides to name the creature Chip after witnessing him having a total orgasm over dessert.
I love it!
Oh, no. What the
His face is like, no, never do that again.
help of his old buddy Tails and Professor Pickle, yes I know that's his name, Sonic finds out that he must travel to each broken continent and place a Chaos Emerald inside the continent's temple in order to restore its power and put the Earth back together. After restoring the 6th temple, Chip manages to regain his memory where he tells Sonic that he's actually like Gaia, the complete opposite of Dark Gaia, and that it's his job to put an end to Dark Gaia's rampage. Sonic, of course, won't let him do that alone and decides to go with him to restore one last temple. While harnessing the power of Dark Gaia, Eggman finally manages to create Eggman Land, which I still think is a pretty lame-ass name. It just so happens that the last temple is inside this circus from hell, so Sonic and Chip head inside. They manage to reach the temple and restore the final Chaos Emerald. There they fight Eggman in one final confrontation where Sonic the Warhog promptly hands his ass to him. Dark Gaia is restored to full power and turns on Eggman, big freaking surprise there, and turns his attention towards Sonic and Chip. Upon glancing at Sonic, he rips the Warhog from within, making it impossible for him to become that abomination ever again. Dark Gaia then attempts to kill the weakened Sonic, but Chip intervenes and uses the power within to do the most ridiculous thing I've seen in a long time.
Awaken and gather here to me!
Did anybody else play the Power Rangers theme when witnessing this? So, with Chip controlling the Gaia Colossus and Sonic becoming Super once more, the two managed to obliterate Dark Gaia complete with slow motion and an anticlimactic flash. Fulfilling his duty, Chip sends Sonic back to the surface while the last piece of the planet is set in place, leaving Chip inside the core with the dying Dark Gaia. Sonic regains his composure and speeds off with Tails, ending the game with a satisfying note. Looking at this scene, again, reminds me of the old days, where Sonic rode on top of the tornado as the credits rolled by. Those were the days. Okay, story aside, how does the game play? Well, like Sonic and the Secret Rings, you only control Sonic throughout the game. Each continent has their own respective daytime stages and nighttime stages. During the day, you're Sonic in all of his glory, and during the night, you control his Warhog form. When you finish a stage, you're given a final score and a ranking like the previous titles. Depending on your performance, you can also gain experience to increase attributes like Sonic's maximum speed, the boost gauge, or any of the Warhog's many attributes. In order to access more stages, you need to collect Sun and Moon medals. Think of it as like collecting Power Stars in Super Mario 64, only just stupid. Seriously, what were they thinking when they decided to put medal collecting in this game? Some stages require large amounts of medals to gain access, and most of the time you'll be blazing past them in Sonic stages. They're easier to spot on the Warhog stages, but that's only because you're not soaring around at the speed of sound. Whatever happens to just going from stage to stage? Daytime stages are absolutely incredible. The sheer sense of speed you can achieve is mind-blowing. You don't believe me? Just take a look. Taking a note from Sonic Rush, Sonic now has a boost maneuver. Pressing the X button sends Sonic going insanely fast, destroying everything in his path. Sonic's homing attack is back in full swing, though now it's been oddly giving its own button. Before you had to jump and press the jump button again in order to perform it, but now after jumping with the A button, you now have to press the X button in order to execute it. It took a while for me to get used to, but it's no big deal, until I learned the air boost. Initially, Sonic could only perform the Sonic boost on the ground, but after obtaining the air boost shoes, he can now perform it in midair. Can you guess what button you press? That's right, the X button. So what does this mean? Simple. Sometimes when I'm trying to perform the homing attack, I accidentally do the air boost, usually sending me hurling to my death. It makes me wonder why they couldn't just leave it hitting the A button twice. Sonic also now has the quick step. With the press of LB or RB, Sonic will quickly step to the side to keep his momentum going. In addition to 3D gameplay, there's also 2D gameplay thrown into the mix, harkening Sonic back to his Genesis days. Though it doesn't exactly emulate the feel of the old titles, it's still pretty damn fun. Of course, Sonic isn't all about running through shit. There's also plenty of platforming, keeping things from getting stale. On a side note, Sonic also has this sweep kick, but I haven't found one use for this move whatsoever. When the sun sets, the Warhog comes into play. Gone is the thrilling speed, and what we're left with is pure combat and platforming. Think of it as a mixture of God of War and Kingdom Hearts, only not as fun. You attack by swinging Sonic's arms, which for some reason now have the ability to stretch like Stretch Armstrong. You can alternate between the X and Y buttons to pull off some fancy looking combos, and you can use the B button to grab enemies with an arrow above their head. Then, after inputting the button sequence on time, you can perform a combo finisher which finishes the enemy off. Upon killing enemies, you also fill up a meter that, when filled to a certain point, allows Sonic to enter his Unleashed state. His strength increases as well as his movement capabilities, and definitely makes combat easier to handle. He also has a shield button, but you know what? I never once used it. Sometimes I completely forgot I had it in the first place, but I managed to finish the game just fine. Though Sonic the Warhog can't run nearly as fast as his daytime counterpart, he can still dash, which makes exploration a little easier. He can also double jump and use his stretchy arms to grab onto the ledges and climb up poles. However, these stages are more of a drag than they are fun. One serious problem is they take forever to finish. Some stages have me clocking on 30 to 35 minutes, and that's when I play with minimum error. The enemies you face are also extremely boring. Besides the usual egg bots, you also fight Dark Gaia spawn, but there's little to no variety in them, so fighting them becomes pretty boring with each passing stage. The platforming sections aren't so bad, but they can be pretty frustrating because of the view you're given in some stages. Sometimes you can't see where to jump next, and sometimes you're not sure what to jump on. And for some strange reason, Sonic doesn't always have a drop shadow, which makes it impossible to determine where you're gonna land. It doesn't sound so bad, but in 3D platforming stage, drop shadows are a constant must. Where the hell do they go when they disappear? Also, I've heard about people complaining about how awkward it is to grab poles and ledges, but a simple cure is to simply hold the B button down when making tricky jumps. Sonic will automatically grab the nearest available ledge as long as you're close enough. Also, am I the only one who thinks Sonic's death scream as the Warhog is completely over the top? Jesus! What, did he receive testicular torture while falling into the abyss? Make sure you tune in for part 2 of my Sonic Unleashed review. I didn't mean it to be 2 parts, but shit happens. Well, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for part 2. It's coming up real soon.
Except when YouTube was still good.
Now, I mentioned in my rant video that the Warhawk stages aren't that bad, but after I finished the game, I found no interest in replaying any of them. I love replaying the Sonic stages, but I can't find myself to go through the Warhawk stages again just to collect more medals and improve my status. But one stage I can't replay no matter who I am is the final stage, Eggman Land. Seriously, this place is hell incarnate with roller coasters. There's difficult, but then there's just cheap. It's bad enough that this stage throws everything at you with the kitchen sink, but it's so freaking long. It took me 72 minutes to complete this stage the first time. 72 minutes! An hour and 12 minutes on one stage? This is madness! To the person out there who managed to complete this stage in about 10 minutes, I applaud you, you freak. Seriously, you must be from another planet to accomplish such a feat. But seriously, good job. Boss battles are pretty damn fun, especially Sonic's battles against Dr. Eggman. Not only are they fast-paced, but they're also an intense test of reflexes. The Warhawk's boss battles aren't too bad either, but they're definitely more slower-paced. Now, the last boss, Dark Gaia, is a completely different genre. I hate this boss battle. After finishing a ridiculously easy fight with Eggman and his Egg Dragoon, Dark Gaia takes the scene. You begin the fight by controlling the Gaia Colossus, which moves with the grace of a sumo wrestler. You have to make it to Dark Gaia in order to inflict damage, but along the way he'll throw great balls of fire and a giant laser, which is impossible to avoid. And I'm not kidding about that. You're gonna get hit with that laser no matter what. You have a guard button, which lowers the damage you take, and a punch button, which can take out the boulders that are unavoidable. But it's delayed beyond belief. You have to time it just right, or you can kiss a chunk of your health goodbye. After reaching Dark Gaia, you input more button sequences to lay the smackdown on him, and then you're given control of Sonic. Sonic's goal is to get to one of Dark Gaia's many eyeballs and give it a beating when he reaches it. After reaching the eye, you're given control of the Gaia Colossus again, where you repeat the sequence 2 more times, getting more difficult as you progress. Holy shit, did you see that? Good lord, look at that. That's creepy. Good lord, I thought this face was disturbing, but looks like I just found my new face. The difficulty of the Gaia Colossus sections aren't too noticeable, but Sonic's portions are just downright evil. While trying to reach the eye, you have to avoid touching the Dark Gaia tentacles and projectiles that his spawn throw at you, which also have a pretty large blast radius upon hitting the ground, making them almost impossible to avoid. Not only that, but you're on an invisible time limit. If you don't make it to the eye a few seconds after Chip says, then you might as well restart the section over again, because you probably won't make it. Anyway, the final boss consists of Super Sonic vs. Perfect Dark Gaia. Upon starting this fight, I'm immediately reminded of the Doomsday Zone, where you have to collect rings and avoid rocks until you reach the boss himself. Unlike previous titles where Super Sonic's lifespan is determined by how many rings he has left, he now has a life bar which you can fill up by collecting rings. It's an odd change, but I don't mind it too much. After reaching Perfect Dark Gaia, you have to eliminate his shield, being admitted by 6 dragon heads all across it. From this point, the action becomes 2D, and you must guide Super Sonic to ram straight into the dragon heads. While doing this, you have to keep in mind of the Gaia Colossus' health bar, which acts as the time limit of the sword, because if it goes down completely, you have to start over. God damn it, Chip! Can't you just leave this battle to Super Sonic? After removing the shield, the rest of the battle simply becomes hitting the right button on time as Super Sonic finishes Perfect Dark Gaia, ending with you button mashing the shit out of the X button. The music in this game, again, is great. In my opinion, it still doesn't beat out Sonic Adventure, but there's more variety in this soundtrack than ever. Each stage music reflects the area that you're in, like a more oriental sound when in the China stages, and a more of a tropical sound when you're in Adabad, an island-based stage. The Warhawk stage music is also fantastic, but one you might get sick of pretty damn fast is the battle music whenever you encounter an enemy. It's a pretty upbeat track in itself, but it plays every time you encounter an enemy that isn't a boss, and because of that, it gets really repetitive, really fast. The regular boss music is also pretty catchy, my favorite being the Warhawks because it's a song you can tap your foot along. But I can't help but think of that one musical piece that used to play in the Chips Ahoy commercials. For that, I applaud it. The voice acting is also pretty good. Sonic's delivery is top-notch, as well as Dr. Eggman's. Tails' voice is nowhere near as high-pitched as it was in the last game, and even Amy isn't too annoying this time around. The only character that truly bugs me is Chip. I don't mind the character, but his voice seems so inappropriate for his figure.
Yeah, Chip. I love it. Yum. Now,
it's like a little girl greeting you, but when she opens her mouth, her voice sounds like this. Secondly, where does he keep pulling that chocolate bar from?
Want some chocolate, Professor? Want some chocolate?
On second thought, I'd rather not know. Overall, this game is pretty solid. but as a person who's grown up with Sonic, I have a few nitpicks. First off, I can't help but notice how much wimpier they're making Sonic nowadays. Now, it's known that Sonic cannot swim, but in this game, Sonic can't even touch water without dying. Whatever happened to the old days where Sonic could run in water? A similar rule applies to the final battle with Super Sonic. You have to avoid the rocks while moving toward the shield. If you touch them, you get hurt. Whatever happened to the old Super Sonic where he could touch rocks and shit without leaving a scratch? Sure, it slowed down his progress a bit, but at least he didn't lose any rings or health. Yeah. Secondly, where's the goddamn spin dash? I know it's a bit unnecessary in this game considering that Sonic has the Sonic Boost, but come on, the spin dash is classic. Hell, Sonic can't even roll into a ball running around anymore. Why not? It's like having a Mario game without the Fire Flower. You just need it. Going back to the subject of Super Sonic, when we're finally going to be able to play as him in regular stages? It sucks that one of the greatest features in the old games have been reduced to a last battle event only. And this has been going on since Sonic Adventure 1. Hell, even the recent handheld Sonic games don't even have Super Sonic in regular levels. Come on, Sonic Team, give the people what they want. Bring Super Sonic back in regular.
They did that, and that's really good, but really, nowadays, not even Sonic Team can fucking listen to the fans, because usually when they do, they fuck it up. When they don't listen to it, they still fuck it up. So either way, Sonic, until he gets bought by someone, either Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo, or even Disney. Okay, fuck Disney. No big surprise, Sonic's pretty much gonna get his ass kicked a lot. He's still getting his ass kicked, just not as much as he was. Because he's had, I think, a bunch of good games. He's had mobile games that are actually good. Well, good, okay, and sometimes bad, but not all the time. He had Sonic Mania and some other games. Now, Sonic Forces wasn't actually that bad. I haven't played it. I haven't played it, but whatever. It wasn't that bad. But it was also bad. But it was bad, but not like so bad that people won't play it. Or people like say, this thing sucks so fucking bad, it's the worst Sonic game, and actually make it where it's a fucking, he goes back to the fucking Dark Age. AKA Sonic Boom. Okay, that's a different story.
Levels. Last but not least are the hub worlds. Now, I know some people don't mind them, but me, I can't stand them. I don't like the hub worlds. They completely detract away from the overall experience of the game. I just wish the game would go from stage to stage. I don't know about you guys, but I don't find anything enjoyable about moving around and talking to people in order to access the next stage. It should just be from stage to stage like the classic games. Well, that's my opinion anyway. I can go on a bit longer with nitpicking, but I'll leave that in a future video. Overall, the Sonic stages are incredible, the boss battles are great, and the music is fantastic. My only gripes are with the Warhog. It just seems so unnecessary, and it's a shame that you have to play with them a lot. If the game consisted of nothing but Sonic daytime stages, then this game would be my favorite 3D Sonic game by far. But that's simply not the case, and because of that, this game falls short of complete greatness. So for my final score, I'd give Sonic Unleashed around an 8 out of 10. And yes, I changed the rating system. This one feels a little more flexible.
The Super Game Bros. 299. Oh, he's playing Resident Evil 5, I think? Either 5 or 6. What it do? Oh, so all I know, that was actually a demo that was leaked. Or was it the real game? I don't know. Don't ask.
What's up, John?
Hi.
Great job on the Sonic Unleashed video.
Thanks, but did you have to kick my door?
That's not what matters. Hey, are you going to review the Wii version of Sonic Unleashed?
No, because quite frankly, I think that version sucks.
How do you not like this version? This is
Nowadays, he thinks it's no. He doesn't eat. He thinks that at some parts of the game, but no, fuck it. He likes the game, but there's still parts of that game that sucks. But there's also parts of the games that's good, like the medal thing. He actually likes it where you immediately get the medals after each stage. Makes sense because how you had to do it in the Xbox 360 version, no big surprise. and there was some other stuff I can't remember what he said in these Johnny versus Sonic and Maze, because that was, he did wait and did that. Because there's a Rocky freaking poster and on this freaking the door. Anyway, he still mentions like Sonic Unleashed not having Empire City and most of the fucking whatever they called them. Missouri. I think it was. I can't remember.
That time's better than the 360 version.
Bullshit! The 360 version is the best version. I played the Wii version, and that version is not Sonic Unleashed.
This is Sonic Unleashed. I'll show you how to play it. Okay, let's begin with the story.
The story is exactly the same. Moving on.
Okay, so as many of us know, the Wii version was made by a separate development team, and since the Wii isn't as powerful as the 360...
Score 1 for the Xbox 360.
Shut up, anyway. Since the Wii version isn't as powerful as the 360, the gameplay, though similar, is a bit different, but it's still fun.
It doesn't have fucking slowdown. Remember the Sonic Unleashed Xbox 360 version had slowdown. Why? One, because of it looking so fucking beautiful that it actually fucking caused that. And then most likely something else that put on, or something else out there. That's one thing that actually this game got better good than the other one.
During the day you control Sonic, and during the night you control his Warhawk form. Like the 360 version, Sonic can do the Sonic Boost, Quick Step, and the homing attack. And guess what, John? You don't have to press a separate button for the homing attack. You simply just flick the Wiimote forward.
Yeah, well, I'd rather use the good old-fashioned GameCube controller, thank you very much.
Or you press the A button for that. Not unless you use the classic controller. I think you can do the same thing. So I don't have a classic controller.
Anyway, Sonic's daytime stages are incredibly fun. Not only are they what I think the best 3D Sonic stages, period, but I can never get sick of replaying them over and over.
Yeah, well, why don't you tell me how you progress through the stages?
It's mission-based.
Lame.
Well, I don't mind it at all. You play through the stages multiple times, each with a different goal. And unlike your HD counterpart, John, you don't have to scatter around looking for the sun and moon medals. You're simply awarded them based on how fast you complete the stage. I think it's safe to say this version has more emphasis on speed.
What the hell is that?
This is the hub world.
Are you kidding me? Menu-styled hub worlds? Yeah, that really slows the game down to a screeching halt.
What is it with you in hub worlds? You didn't mind the ones in Sonic Adventure.
But that's because there's only 3 of them, and you can move with full speed while traveling in them. Not this bullcrap. Look at this, you're talking...
He really hates now. Then, now he thinks they're okay. Me, they're workable for the game. That's for sure.
So a cardboard cutout. At least the people when you talk to in the 360.
The fucking well, I kind of like the menu thing better than the actual freaking hub world. At least the Shotgun Leaks, because they were so fucking big and barely had anything to do. That's why when games do that, they usually have something you can fucking do.
Version are fully rendered. Hey, how come Sonic can roll into a ball in this version and not the 360 version?
Don't ask me, you nitpicker, but it's just another reason why the Wii version is awesome.
Can you do the spin dash?
No.
Bullshit! Why is the boost gauge divided into several pieces like that?
Each segment represents a Sonic boost, so...
You mean I just can't hold the button down and do the Sonic boost continuously?
What's your point?
That's so stupid. Why can't it be just one continuous boost? How do you activate it?
You flick the Wiimote forward.
You mean I gotta flick that damn thing over and over again to keep my speed going?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. How do you not get tired from doing that constantly?
Because I'm a kid, you dope. And you're playing with the GameCube controller anyway, so why are you complaining?
Wait, I thought you said you beat in this game.
I did.
Where's Empire City?
I don't know.
You mean there's no Empire City in this game?
No.
Where are the stages at from Missouri?
What? I only care about the...
And also, they actually really, it wasn't really part of the story, so really, did you really need to fucking have it? Missouri, though, I question what the fuck happened. I'm assuming maybe there's a possibility, maybe they tried to do it, and it didn't work or some shit. I don't fucking know. Really, I didn't, when I was playing it, I didn't really care. I don't think I even knew it was a complete fucking stage.
Boss.
What? There's no stages from Missouri either, so essentially this game is missing 2 levels. I can't imagine what the Warhog levels are like.
They're fun, especially with the Wiimote.
Now I know you're on crack. Care to explain?
Of course, playing the game just using any other controller is bland, but with the Wiimote is more interactive. You like Wii boxing, don't you? Well, think of it like that, only you can pull off much more.
Why does he run like he's on ice?
How about I take this controller and shove it up your...
Is that the only combo you can do?
What?
Although I don't like the Warhog that much, at least he has a larger variety of combos in the 360 version. Can you do a combo finisher in this version?
No, but he can do this.
He can do that in the 360
Actually, they have combo things, but you have to unlock those, last I checked.
version. So he doesn't have a combo finisher in this game?
Nope. At least the stages don't take forever to complete.
Also, that's what they say that when there actually is. I know that because it's possible, but it's hard to do it. So...
Unlike your version.
Yeah, but look how many Warhog levels there are compared to daytime stages. At least in the 360 version, gameplay was a bit more balanced between the two. How are the boss fights?
Pretty much the same as the 360 version, only my fight with Dark Gaia is much simpler.
How so?
When controlling the Gaia Colossus, you only have to control him 1 time instead of 3. And instead of avoiding boulders and lasers, you get to punch the crap out of Dark Gaia from the get-go.
Okay, that is better than the 360 version.
And you play all 3 Sonic segments back to back with no invisible time limit to drive you insane.
Alright, what about Supersonic? Wait a minute, this looks exactly like the final boss battle in Sonic and the Secret Rings. You just Supersonic this time. Sorry, Elliot, though the first part is better, I prefer Supersonic's fight in the 360 version.
Yeah.
Well, the music's the same, that's good. But why is the story delivered using the Xbox 360 graphics? That only makes the Wii's inferior graphics more glaring.
It's not like the graphics are terrible, John.
No, for the Wii, the graphics are pretty nice, but still, they couldn't tell the story using the Wii graphics. I don't think it would affect the overall story, but come on, I think that's just being lazy. That was nice and all, but I still don't see how this one's the better version, Elliot.
You're just...
Nowadays, he still thinks the Xbox 360 one's still better, but he does like the version now.
It's in denial.
Elliot, the 360 version is the better one.
Screw you, the Wii version's better.
Mine doesn't have tacky motion controls.
Mine can support up to 3 controller types, stupid.
My version has better graphics.
Mine doesn't have sun and moon metal hunting.
My version is much faster.
Mine is more interactive.
My version has extra stages.
This version has higher rating.
We're never gonna stop arguing, are we?
No, we're not. We're just 2 people complaining about different versions of a game.
In fact, there's no point in complaining, is there?
There is no point complaining.
We should just let be bygones be bygones.
Yes.
Great, let's play some Rock Band. So the moral of the story is, it really doesn't matter which version you have. What matters is if you have fun with it. Whether it be for the PlayStation 2, the Nintendo Wii, the Xbox 360, or the PlayStation 3, Sonic Unleashed is still a pretty fun title. And with that, we're the Super Gamer Brothers. You guys have a good night, everybody. Thanks. Yeah! Sonic Genesis for the Game Boy.
Oh god, I forgot I'm actually on a playlist, so it actually went to the next one. That I don't... Oh god. Yeah, obviously then, because I'm doing it on list, next one will be this one. Oh god.